my favorite
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
is
Thank you, sir, for making us listen this auspicious.
Mm, mm. So this is the Narasimha. mm, these poems were sung by somebody in India, and I was the writer. I wrote this Satakam, this one, and about 6 or 7 books I wrote. One is wholly on different forms of Shakti, and second one is Narasimha Satakam. Another one is on Krishna Satakam. Another one is Mallikarjuna Satakam. And another one is Bhagavata Dashamaskanda about Krishna's Leela. And another one is also on Krishna. The significant contribution I did, still there are a lot of typos because I really cannot type in Telugu. And I got it printed, is Narayaniyam. This one is a great epic written by Narayan Bachar in Kerala around 1300s on Guruvayurappan in Sanskrit, about 1,000 slokas. I wrote it in Telugu uh, according to classical Padya Sahitya, 1,500 poems, that one. So, I mean, this is what I am doing apart from, in fact, almost all my uh, Sanatana uh, books I have just thrown it away. So the only commitment, as I said, if you arrange in your college, that is the only commitment I said I will give. I will give a talk or else and no other commitments. Even with Aruna, I was telling, I cannot, don't put me in an official capacity. I'll just, whenever I have some, I can come and attend. Because I have no real energy. I don't know when I get my disease spells. So it's a, it's a really, this time, it has been very, very successful with this lecture series, the distinguished lecture series. And only with that one, the real talent, which is being oversighted by big big conferences or whatever it is, they get recognition. And the rec this is what happens. Somebody gets one award, then a lot of people give him the award. So for what? Once he got it, he got it. It is only the newer people, talents have to be recognized. That was the motivation. And then you may say, what transpires? That's where I feel the wisdom, wisdom takes place. You see, a lot of people gave talks, but they only sometimes only 1 or 2 points. They really light the whole arena. In fact, the idea that cognitive response of a neural response from more than one source can be mathematically modeled. I mean, I started thinking in that, then how to model it. Your uh, um, speech and sight coordination. Um, I was just thinking, but then don't ask me to give a talk. See, I mean, like this one, what happens is knowledge can never go down. It only go up and up. So that was the thing. So this is what really initiated in my mind that you definitely deserve some sort of pat in the back or a feather in your cap. So that was my, you have great potential. And you see, although you are much junior in my selection or recommendation, I bypass so many things. In fact, you can talk to payments and all with I don't know. I don't know when she will announce. Maybe I don't know. I can't comment on it. I mean, so recognition deserves. It deserves for a proper, perfect talent. And today I am really excited to listen to you in a detailed fashion because in a conference people talk. Of course, as I said, even in that one, in a hush environment, it clicked me means it is because of my experience. So now, once we hear through your mouth in a systematic and detailed way, it will be useful for me as well as for all the audience. And about Aruna, you have to think carefully about putting this video on the YouTube because people, of course, in India, we don't think that way. In India, they think in a different way. Why should I pay registration and then come? I can see reality there on the video. I lie down and see. So thereby, people who want to pay for registration will disappear. It becomes smaller and smaller. The danger is there. So how you restrict it, I don't know. But I sincerely feel you should not put it. Because people may say, a Garki party gets millions, so he may get a lot of money. That please don't be in that myth. So because these are serious talks, it will not twinkle the taste buds of many people. So that is my personal word of wisdom. So why? I think it is becoming 7, right? I don't know.
7:10 and 7:15 like that people are joining.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah.
I request you, could you please share this link to your students also because they can be also benefited to all your friends and
Yeah, that is
colleagues
right.
also.
The
Please
more
ask
number
them to
of
join.
people come.
Actually, we have this 100 days program going on, madam. Sathya Sai Baba's 100 days, like before birthday, 100 days. So we have program till 8:30. So that is
Okay.
why even sometimes I used to get delayed to join for the session. I used to come back home and then I used to join. So
Yeah.
all staff and students, they are there in Premamritam Hall, which is there in Muddanahalli in Karnataka. So
This is
that's
the
one
problem
update.
with weekdays arranging a meeting. But a week-long seminar means it has to be, it can't be only weekends. It's all weekdays. But at least identify people joining. Lot of people whom I talked, they said it's very, very interesting. Did you get any feedback, Karuna, on these talks so far? Unmute.
Yes, sir. Personally, I'm getting messages, sir, that this event is very good and talks are very nice like that. And in the last day, 7th day, I'm planning to make a Google form of feedback as a link, sir. So I'll be sending to all the participants and registered participants also. We can get feedback also, sir.
Okay, these are the sort of things you should have um, uh, a sharp look.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is Madhumati? Madhumita? You can introduce yourself. I mean, just to so that others will come. Madhumita, are you there? Or Vasanti Devi? Vasanti Devi, are you there?
Uh, Sir and ma'am, we shall wait 5 to 10 minutes more, and meanwhile, I'll be sending this link to all other groups also, and our Siddhi Foundation and community also there, community group. In that channel also I am posting. So just give me 5 minutes time.
And Madhumati, come on to video and introduce yourself. At least we can see your beautiful face. Is it my voice or your voice is not clear? Vasanti Devi, if you are there, introduce yourself, please. those who joined while we are waiting for others, please introduce yourself. Although you have introduced before, but every day is a new day. So please introduce yourself. Vasanti Devi, Mandeep Singh, Shiv Ganesh, Rajani. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm A. Shiv Ganesh, and I'm working as Deputy Manager in Electrical Maintenance in 2 into 520 megawatt thermal power station in Visakhapatnam.
So nice to meet you, sir. Ma'am, let us start exactly by 7:15, ma'am. 4 minutes more.
Sure, ma'am.
I request Mandeep Singh, please introduce yourself to the gathering.
Are all those who are available, please introduce yourself. Although you have been introduced before, please introduce. Every day is again a new white paper.
I am Dr. T. Deborah Paripurnam. I am Assistant Professor in Biochemistry in Nada Saraswati College of Arts and Science, Delhi. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
I request Rajneesh Sharma, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Dr. Rajneesh Sharma. I had introduced earlier also. I'm Dr. Rajneesh Sharma, Assistant Professor Journalism and Mass Communication. And at Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I'm looking forward for such a lovely thinking, discussions, lively discussions, which really trigger, thinking mind. Thank you very much, Aruna ma'am, and your team. I really wish you good luck. I'm looking forward for upcoming programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Suryanarayana, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Thank you for joining once again.
I'm Surya Narayana, thermal engineer, retired, and now settled at Hyderabad. And it was 3 days, nice lectures were there. And we would like to hear today a very interesting topic on human neurons and all. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much. Every day I'm looking here Gurjit's iPhone, but I couldn't hear from you. I request Gurjit ma'am, could you please introduce yourself to the gathering?
I am Dr. Gurjeet, Associate Professor in Chemistry from Postgraduate Government College for Girls, Sector 11, Chandigarh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good evening and warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. With the permission of honorable distinguished guests and speakers, it's time for starting off of today's fabulous session by Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am. Once again, from bottom of my heart, I'm welcoming all of you to this auspicious evening to have explored with all these distinguished lecture series and talks also. Now, it's my privilege to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Rajeshwari Pullakdi ma'am. And ma'am is a distinguished academician, accomplished researcher, and passionate public health advocate in the field of life sciences. Ma'am currently serving as an assistant professor at the Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, Karnataka. And ma'am is a gold medalist in BSc and a UGC NET Junior Research Fellow. And she brings over 15 years of teaching expertise and more than a decade of dedicated research experience. And ma'am is making a notable contributions to both academia and community health initiatives. And her areas of specialization encompass public health, hygiene, functional foods, phytomedicine, and holistic healing modalities such as emotional freedom techniques and neuro-wellness. With an impressive research portfolio of over 40 publications and H-index of 12 and several book chapters in Elsevier and other reputed academic volumes, Dr. Pullakdi has earned recognition on both national and international platforms, presenting her work in USA, UK, and all over India. And ma'am's academic and research excellence has been acknowledged through a series of prestigious awards, including the Best Research Paper Award, ICNMH 2025, Best Academic Researcher Award, Research Excellence Award at ICMIR PhD 2025, and Best Paper Presentation Certificate, Youth Empowerment Award 2025 by ICERT, Eminent Scientist Award at Harvest 2025, Global Agriculture Conference, Chanakya Awards 2025 for Excellence in Education and Social Welfare, and the Best Teacher Award 2025 at ICCEP 2025. And ma'am also holds multiple certificates of excellence in reviewing from reputed journals and began her academic journey with the gold medal for securing the highest rank in her BSc. And beyond her scholarly contribution, Dr. Pullakdi is a dynamic educator and visionary leader known for conceptualizing and organizing impactful outreach programs on environmental sustainability, youth empowerment, and preventive health awareness. Ma'am work reflects a seamless integration of scientific rigor and interdisciplinary collaboration and compassionate community engagement. And she is inspiring individuals and communities to embrace holistic health, sustainable living, and value-based education. Besides all these things, ma'am is very down to earth and very friendly and very passionate towards her field of excellence in educating students and society also. And ma'am, it's my privilege and it's my honor to have you in our lecture series. Not only in our lecture series, you are continuously and constantly encouraging your students to attend our conferences and present their papers. And once again, I am congratulating that you had been awarded as a best paper presentation for your paper in our last conference. It has been announced by our first person, our Guru, Professor Srinivas Rao sir. It's a great honor to you and to your team also and to Sidvi Foundation also. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and proposal to give your talk. Over to you, ma'am.
Before you guys talk, please mute yourself, all others, because I can hear your conversation. So please mute, except this speaker.
Thank you so much, Aruna madam, for that humble introduction. It really means a lot. Thank you so much, Professor Srinivas Rao sir, for that great motivational support to all of us, especially for my students. It really meant a lot, and they just felt out of the world when the paper was announced as the best paper presentation. Thank you so much, sir. And it is indeed a great honor and privilege to be invited as a guest speaker for the prestigious lecture series, Think Beyond, which is organized by Sidvi Foundation. At the outset, I express my heartfelt gratitude to all the organizers, specifically to our Aruna madam, Dr. Aruna madam, and all the distinguished member of the foundation and the audience for considering me worthy of this platform. Such initiatives are truly commendable as they encourage people like us, researchers like us, to step outside the conventional frame of thought and nurture ideas that are innovative, inclusive, and impactful. When I say, or when we say think beyond, it is not merely about imagining possibilities. It is about breaking barriers and questioning limitations and reimagining solutions that contribute to personal growth, societal well being, and sustainable progress. It is about cultivating the courage to dream differently and the discipline to translate those dreams into meaningful action. With that spirit in mind, I look forward to share my insights with you all today on the topic integrated therapies for neuro wellness. I welcome you all for this, I can say, reflection, dialogue, and inspiration, which is going to leave us with new perspectives and to carry forward. So, once again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Siddhi Foundation for this opportunity. Let us together embark on this journey of thinking beyond the obvious, beyond present, and beyond ourselves. So, with that gratitude introduction, I would like to proceed with my presentation. Shall I share my screen, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please. My warm welcome to Dr. Vikas Kumar sir from Delhi, ICAR. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us.
Once again, a hearty welcome to all of you. May I start, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay. So, like we are going to hear about the topic integrative therapies.
Ma'am, just make your screen
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Presentation mode, ma'am.
Yes,
just
madam.
keep it as a presentation.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
Now it is. Now it is.
okay. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm so excited to share my views and thoughts on this very uplifting topic, that is integrative therapies for neuro wellness. So before I start, maybe I can just brief you all about what is neuro wellness. In this fast moving world, most of us are encountered with a lot of challenges. Say, when we have our phone with us, it's so difficult to keep our phone aside, or it is so difficult to cut off all the digital tools that we're using. But I'm through this presentation, I'm going to brief you all, or I'm going to surprise you all with some interesting techniques that we can actually help ourselves to cut down the, I can say, kind of addiction that we all are facing in this world. So that is about highlight of my presentation. And in this presentation, I'm going to speak in four sections or four units. I'm going to start with the gut-brain axis, and then further I'm going to deal with the techniques, that is EFT technique, NLP technique, and further as to how we are going to achieve detox through digital abstaining. So this is the brief, I can say this is the outline of my presentation. Okay, so I would like to start with a short story here. Maybe all of you are wondering, what is that story ma'am is going to tell us about? Maybe one day there was a discussion with all the different body parts. So in fact, all the different body parts were claiming that they are very, very important. Brain was saying it is important, and then heart was also saying it is important. And then there is a question which comes up as to which organ is really, which part of the body is really important. So the brain said, I'm the most important as I control almost everything. And the heart said, I am also the most important as my beating keeps the body going. And the liver says, I'm the most important as I help in metabolism, excretion, detoxification. Finally, the gut said, I am also most important. I digest, absorb, protect, excrete, produce hormones, and reabsorb. I'm almost doing everything. So it was a great confusion. Like whom to say it is most, who is the organ which is really important. Then the answer comes. So can you all guess what could be the answer? What could be the decision? Can you all guess? So which is so important, which is really important? Can someone guess what could be the answer for this?
I think it is all.
Okay, someone else? What is the main important part of our body? Can someone give a guess? Okay, fine. Let me check. In fact, the gut got very angry. Within few days, you will see rest all the body systems, they stopped, because when gut is upset, I think none of the rest of the body parts are going to support us or help us. So it is the gut which is very, 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 very important. When gut is happy, I think the mind is happy, the mood is happy. I hope you all got that right. Yes. So initially, I'm going to brief you all about what is the main function of gut. Like here we can see, we are able to give our best and we are able to perform our duties to our best. That's because the gut is doing its work. So if there is any imbalance or if there is any decrease in the number of microorganisms in our intestine, so we can see that imbalance in different ways. Like we undergo a lot of stress, or sometimes we are not able to sleep properly, lack of sleep, insomnia, and then some of them are into a lot of medicines, and some of them are into a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle, I'm talking about the kind of lifestyle most of us are actually like practicing. Maybe it is a desktop kind of job, or it is a basically sitting kind of job. So these are some of the contributory factors which is going to create a lot of imbalance in our body. Now, when I say imbalance, I'm trying to say that the number of microorganisms which are supposed to inhabit in our body is not maintained, or I can say it is less. Okay, so that is a dysbiosis or the imbalance in the microorganisms I'm referring to. Okay, so there is one main reason for all these disturbances. Can someone guess what is the main reason? Of course, I've given a hint there. What could be the main reason for all these disturbances? Of course, it is stress. So now when we say about stress, it is just not about the physical stress we are undergoing, it is a mental stress. So mental stress here I'm referring to the imbalance in the various oxidants and antioxidants. So multiple lines of study have shown that the primary cause of the various environmental associated inflammation is basically because of dysfunction of the gut-brain axis. Like we can see the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is basically disturbed, or it is overstimulated, and that is the reason for development of various diseases. And this imbalance or overactivation of the HPA axis is what leading to disturbance in gut microbiome and further leading to various diseases which are actually because of the civilization. Okay, to introduce, so most of the chronic diseases that we see nowadays, it could be heart disease or diabetes or cardiovascular diseases, are all resultant due to an imbalance between oxidants and antioxidants. So when we say oxidants, I'm specifically referring to the free radicals. So free radicals are generally produced in a number of ways in our body, which is actually needed for the normal functioning of the body. But whenever there is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants, so antioxidants are also chemicals which are taken through diet, and there are some endogenous antioxidants which are prepared in the body. So whenever there is an imbalance between antioxidants and oxidants, that leads, or that is a reason for development of various chronic diseases, or I can say these diseases are all lifestyle basically stress induced diseases, I can say. So these stress induced diseases are resultant due to inflammation, oxidative stress, and psychological distress. So psychological distress I just referred in the previous slide. I'm talking about the stress that we are undergoing because of approaching deadlines, because of lot of work within short span of time, etc. Okay, so what is the solution for all this then? So how do we balance, or how do we bring back this lost balance? So whenever there is an imbalance in the gut functioning, there is IBS, that is irritable bowel syndrome, there is schizophrenia, there could be Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, and severely speaking, it is anxiety or the depression, which is also seen in most of the population who are undergoing a lot of stress. And one important symptom that we can see in people having a lot of stress is anxiety. Sometimes the reason for anxiety is also not known. So how do we tackle this? And 70% of all the diseases nowadays are resultant due to chronic stress. And 80% of the hospital visits are also because of the stress. So prolonged stress, as I said before, it activates the HPA axis. It can lead to increased cortisol level. Now, increased stress is going to increase a hormone called cortisol. So basically, cortisol is a fight or flight hormone, which is like a rescue hormone for us. Which what do you think the cortisol is going to do? So cortisol is basically going to give everything instant to us, like energy supply and then instant action. So cortisol is basically going to help us to fight back the situations that we are facing. But if there is too much load of cortisol, or it is called as hypercortisolemia, which is like increased or excessive production of cortisol, is supposed to be very dangerous. It is going to cause severe, I can say, severe defects in the body. So occurrence of these diseases are leading to oxidative stress. Basically, these diseases lead to oxidative stress, and further they interfere with detoxification process. So we all know every now and then excess free radicals or some toxins which are produced due to the metabolism, those need to be cleared every now and then. And our lymphatic system and then our gut is one which is going to help us in detoxification. If there is a severe imbalance seen in the gut functioning, that is when it leads to various diseases. So like I said before, increased cortisol. So how is that? What is cortisol? Increased cortisol going to do? It is going to like initiate gluconeogenesis, that is production of glucose through new sources other than carbohydrate. That is protein and fat also could be broken down to give us glucose. Increased lipolysis, which is fat is breaking down to give you glucose, and then it is also leading to increased blood pressure and decreased mood or mood swings, we can say, low memory and low cognitive functions. So because of all this, of course, cortisol, hypercortisolemia, which is again triggering the body, and it is actually alerting the body to be ready for any danger. So however, prolonged cortisol is what is going to lead to various disturbances, that is impaired mood, memory, and cognitive function. So when our mood is bad, I think most of our work is like spoiled. So how do we balance that, or how do we bring back this cortisol is one need of the hour, we can say. So not just decreased mood, low memory. Sometimes we also miss out some meeting updates. We also miss out some important work deadlines, and low cognitive functions. Probably we are missing out something, or we are not having enough focus to do our important works. So all these are resultant due to increased cortisol levels. Now, in this section, I'm going to brief you all more about as to how the gut immunity is affected by cortisol. Especially, I'm going to talk about as to how stress is going to affect the gut. So our Hippocrates, he is supposed to be the Greek physician. He has told this long back that most of these diseases begin in the gut. So if there is any slight disturbance in the gut, it could lead to backache, or it could lead to headache, or it could lead to cramps, or most of all these disturbances, the main reason is the gut. And Hippocrates has identified this a long back. Okay, and this disturbance in the gut is going to cause disturbance in the immune functioning. So immune system, as we all know, it is going to help us fight back various diseases. So basically, immune system is going to hamper the vaccine, like it is going to hamper the defense system, I can say. And immune system is like a vaccine for us, which is going to help us fight back various diseases. When immune system itself is not functioning, then that is when the various diseases are resultant. So everything that is alive is everything is interconnected. So when we see the microbiomes in our gut, they are all interconnected. That means every microbiome is going to contribute to important functions, or we can say metabolism in our body. So it is very important that we maintain our gut, that is healthy gut. Maintenance of healthy gut is very important. So our gut interacts with the environment with positive interactions. Basically, whenever there is good absorption of food and there is negative interaction, we see food is also not getting absorbed well, and that might also lead to some negative interactions because of the pathogens. So it is very important. It's a dire need to maintain healthy gut. A healthy microbiome enhances absorption of nutrients. When nutrients are absorbed, we are at our best. I can say we are able to counterbalance the harmful effects of the chemicals which are produced in our body. So we are entering an era where increasing stress, or I can say increased production of free radicals, is actually leading to a lot of disturbances. So increased stress causing chemicals which are produced, it is going to lead to measurable effects in terms of microbes or metabolites. Now, if we see a diabetic person's body, there are some metabolites which are produced, and we actually analyze those metabolites in the form of LFT and kidney function test and liver function test. So these disturbances, or we can say increased levels of biomarkers in the body, is actually because of the gut imbalance. So how do we tackle this? I can say food is the best medicine. So food as medicine is one concept that we can, if we practice, I think there is no need to go for any hospital, or there is no need to go for any medications. So food as medicine has been a powerful approach for healthy well-being. So the human body, including the gut, skin, and other mucosal environments, they are colonized by a tremendous number of microorganisms, collectively termed as microbiome. So it is said that around trillions of microbiomes that live inside our body, and they play a very important role in determining the health and disease. So human gut microbiota consists of around, like I said, millions of microorganisms, which include bacteria, viruses, and fungi. In healthy individuals, some of these strains are dominant, whereas in diseased individuals, there are different strains which are dominant. So what plays a key role is maintenance of this microbiome is very, very important. So gut microbiota has been considered to be an essential organ carrying approximately 150 times more genes. That means epigenetics is also playing an important role here. So these bacteria, they colonize the host shortly after the birth. That means we basically get all our microbiomes through our mother. In fact, when we are born, it is there from then that we actually start we are placed in that environment that we start fighting back the external allergens or antigens, we can say. So it is the mother's during the labor, whatever environment the baby encounters, it is that from there that the microbiome starts developing. The host bacterial associations also have developed into beneficial relationships. Okay, now let us see what are those important factors that influence. So in utero, the human being does not have a microbiota. Upon birth only, the gastrointestinal tract colonizes immediately. So we inherit our gut flora from our mother, and the composition is basically determined and influenced by a number of endogenous and exogenous factors. So like I said, epigenetics is also an important factor, diet is also an important factor, and certain use of prebiotics, probiotics, and antibiotics are also very important, which is going to influence the microbiota. So like I said, our metabolism, sometimes if the metabolism is too slow, that also could be a reason. If it is too fast, that is also one reason for the improper functioning. And structural factor like cell growth and differentiation, cell and tissue development, and protective functions. So gut microbiota also has a very important role in protecting our body from diseases. So these microbiomes metabolize ingestible compounds. They supply essential nutrients. Like whenever we eat fermented foods, so microbiomes make use of those compounds present in the fermented foods, and they also increase in number, and then reproduce, or I can say they are produced more in number, and then we are benefited. They also help us defend against colonization by opportunistic pathogens. They actually help us fight back these pathogens. They also contribute to formation of intestinal architecture. They are also involved in digestion of certain foods that cannot be digested by stomach and intestine. For example, dietary fibers, basically they are non-digestible, but through the microbiota, we are able to handle it. Okay. So like I said, microbiome is also very, very important to deliver us certain important nutrients like folates, which is important for brain functioning, vitamin A, which is important for blood clotting, biotin, which is important for hair growth, and riboflavin. Likewise, there are a number of complex, B-complex vitamins which are actually produced by the microbiome. So these microbiomes, they also produce certain short-chain fatty acids, which plays an important role in energy production. And they also stimulate normal development of the humoral and mucosal immune systems. So directly or indirectly, we can say they play an important role in metabolism and basically immune system. They help us protect against pathogenic organisms. So the loss of gut epithelial integrity. So when do you think that we are going to miss out, or we are going to hamper this epithelial integrity because of our not following a proper lifestyle, or into a lot of fast foods, or eating foods which are packaged or processed? So these are some of the reasons which creates a lot of imbalance. Or sometimes if we are too much into tea and coffee, that is when the balance is again disturbed. So all these, like whatever factors that I've just mentioned, so they trigger inflammatory responses which lead to gas production, cramps, and food sensitivities. Sometimes suddenly we develop certain food sensitivities that again gut imbalance could be a reason for that. So this gut bacteria play an important role in development of WBCs, which are very, very important to fight back diseases, infections. So they also play an important role in neuronal development. In fact, I will come to this concept a little later. They're essential for proper brain development. They're also essential for social, emotional, anxiety-like behaviors. they also contribute to brain development and functions. So if our mood is fine, again the contributing factor is healthy gut. So if the gut is not healthy, we will have a lot of mood swings. So that is what I was trying to say. Our brain functioning is dependent on the microbiome or the gut health. Okay. Now these microbiomes, they help us to grow healthy microbes in our body. So because of the growth and development of these healthy microorganisms, we are strengthening our immune system, and this development of immune cells further contribute to immune response to various diseases. So here we can see nicely it is depicted as to how the intestinal or the micro gut health is maintained, or what are the different factors which are contributing to the gut health. I'm not going into detail. Like whenever we take a lot of simple sugars, so that also affects whenever there is an imbalance in pH. Now generally they say our diet should be more of alkaline, so this alkaline diet is going to help us maintain gut health. But sometimes if our diet is dominated by acidic foods, basically protein rich foods or animal foods, that might lead to gastrointestinal disturbances. And decreased intake of dietary fiber also has a role, or we can say decreased intake of antioxidants further disrupts the immune functioning. So various factors are actually interrelated, which are contributing to our gut health. So moreover, it is a balance of this acidic and alkaline foods which is going to help us maintain our gut. Okay, now here we are seeing what is the response of microbiome for allergic inflammation. So whenever there is any allergy or whenever there is any foreign entity affecting our body, the immediate rescue is through our gut. So our gut creates an environment in such a way that the foreign entity or the foreign body which is going to harm us is actually tackled well, or it is not allowing us to be affected. Okay, here again we can see whenever there is an alteration in the behavior, cognition and emotion, that would further lead to abnormal gut function, and that would further cause increased levels of, like I said, cortisol. And when our gut is healthy, that will allow normal physiological functions, and it will maintain the or in fact it will prevent the inflammatory signals, and it will again help us to maintain a normal healthy gut. Okay, now one of the common I can say disease, or one of the common symptoms seen in many of them because of stress is irritable bowel syndrome. So they will just eat food, and then after some time you will see they'll be using the restroom. So the reason for this is again imbalance in the gut microbiome. So how do we tackle this? By incorporating or by taking probiotics and prebiotics. So I'll be dealing on probiotics and prebiotics in some time. So this, if the diet is not having probiotics and prebiotics, or in brief, I can say fiber. Basically, if a diet is lacking fiber, or if at all we are following intermittent fasting or a very crash diet or a fat diet, that is when there is it is resulting to irritable bowel syndrome. Okay. So a healthy gut microbiome essentially could be fundamental in maintaining optimal immune system. So the composition of the balanced gut microbiota is known to have major influence on the lung immunity as well. It is not just the overall immunity, but the lung functioning is also decided by the healthy gut. Okay, a healthy microbiome is a diverse microbiome containing many different species, and each organism plays a vital role. So, and as age increases, there is a decline in the microbiome. If we see elderly section, they will not be able to digest heavy foods. That is again because of deficiency, or we can say decreased number of microbes in their gut. So as the age progresses, we can expect a decline in the microbiome activity. So diet and environmental factors are equally contributing to gastrointestinal health. So microbiota is going to be very important to maintain homeostasis and to prevent the dysbiosis, which is the imbalance in the gut. Now, how do we handle this? Like I said, a balanced diet is like a mantra that we can address this issue. So I hope everybody is familiar with food guide pyramid. So how to achieve a balanced diet is one pressing question that we might be thinking about. So we have to maintain a proper balance of carbs, fats, proteins, and a little more of vitamins and minerals, fiber and water. Probably we are concentrating on carbs, fats, and proteins, but what about vitamins, minerals, and fiber? That means our diet is predominantly having a lot of cereals and pulses. but it should be equally balanced with fruits and vegetables, which are protective foods, which give us a protection against diseases. And fiber, like I said, is again going to enhance the heart health, and fiber is also important for the gut health. And water, enough water. So these days we have to place some reminders to drink water. That is a scenario. But if we make it as a habit of drinking water regularly, that will be a great good option. Okay. Now here I'm highlighting more on a dietary fiber. Now when we talk about dietary fiber, we have two types: soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. The soluble fiber is basically the pectin or the jelly kind of fiber which is present in some of the vegetables. And insoluble fiber is basically the outermost skin of most of the vegetables and fruits. So it is a good practice to consume the fruit and the vegetable with the outermost skin because it is rich in insoluble fiber, which is very, very good for the gut health. Okay. Now, how is that fiber is going to enhance cardiovascular health? So basically, fiber is going to act like a scavenger, which is going to prevent the accumulation of the bad cholesterol in our arteries. So a diet which is predominant with the fiber is going to help us to maintain the gut microbiome. And it is also going to allow the proper absorption of carbohydrates, which is important for energy. And then indigestible portion of the food is basically derived from plants, we all know. So fiber is the one which is basically indigestible, and that is what gives bulk to the stools, and therefore going to help us to prevent constipation. So like I said, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. So both need to be taken. We just can't concentrate on soluble fiber, but insoluble fiber is also equally important. Okay, so let's consume more of fruits and vegetables because they are protective foods against diseases. And also let's start consuming more of fermented foods. Like I said, probiotics are basically the fermented foods which actually protect our gut, and they actually enhance the production of short chain fatty acids. These short chain fatty acids, they act like fuel for the gastrointestinal cells. The fiber also provides a protection, or we can say it removes the toxins. Basically, it is like a detoxifying agent which is going to bind with all the toxins produced as a part of metabolism, and it is going to flush it out. Basically, I said increase free radicals. So excess of free radicals also could be counterbalanced by fiber, which is going to combine with fiber and then it is defecated. So fiber as such is going to be very, very beneficial. It is going to help very much for the digestive health. Okay. So here there are some of the examples like prebiotics. Like I said, oats, onions, and then garlic, banana. So these are, in fact, we should start our day with these prebiotics. If at all we started our day with prebiotics, it is going to set a proper environment, or we can say a good alkaline environment in our gut, which is going to create a congenial environment for the rest of the metabolism to happen normally. Okay. So prebiotics are basically plant fibers which stimulate growth of the healthy bacteria. That is why if we start a day with prebiotics, that means the whole day, or we can say the whole diet is taken care of. So prebiotics are found in many fruits and vegetables, especially the complex carbohydrates such as fiber and resistant starch. So the resistant starch here I'm trying to say, which is not digested. So they are not digestible by our body, and therefore they become part of the stools. They also become food for the bacteria, and that is how it helps in the good production of the gut microbiome. Okay, so probiotics, like I said, the fermented foods are also very good for us. So they are the live organisms. Probiotics, like we take curd, we take buttermilk. So they are the live microorganisms. Specific strains like lactobacillus, they directly add to the population of the healthy micro gut. So they are most common probiotic foods in yogurt. Yogurt and buttermilk are both very good sources of probiotics. So fermented Indian foods like idli, dosa are also other food items which are very good in probiotics. Okay, so probiotics, how are they going to help us? So they are basically going to help us to bring back the gut balance, and that is how let's eat more of the probiotics and prebiotics, and let's maintain this gut health. So, and let's enhance our microbiome for a long-term health. So how to boost our healthy gut, or how to boost our gut health? Like I said, I'm repeating points so that we register it for a long time. So let's take more of high fiber foods. Let's add a variety of plant-based foods. Usually they say the plate, my plate, say for example, whatever plate that we are consuming our food, it should be diverse in different colors. That means all the colors should be present in our food plate. So if all the colors are balanced, that means we are taking equal proportion of all the nutrients. And the diet should be rich in probiotics and prebiotics. It's very, very important. And the intake of processed foods, or basically the packaged foods, we have to completely avoid, because the processed foods or the packaged foods are actually loaded with a lot of food additives. These food additives are the chemicals which are added to enhance the texture and color and taste of the food, which are main reasons for the imbalance, dysbiosis. So let's avoid those processed foods. Okay, not just about diet. In fact, exercise is also going to help us in maintaining gut health. Being physically active is going to enhance the production of some healthy hormones or happy hormones, and sleeping enough. If at all we don't have enough sleep, that is also going to create a lot of imbalance in gut and further causing stress. Okay, so effective nutritional strategy and specific functional foods. Okay, now what are functional foods basically? So functional foods, other than performing the duty of giving us nutrition, have additional benefits or additional functions. Say, for example, bitter gourd. We all know bitter gourd is a vegetable, but other than doing its function as a vegetable, it also has some important bioactive compounds, which is very good for diabetics. Not just diabetics, it is very good for various diseases. So it is called as a functional food. Now, fenugreek, or we can say the horse gram or flax seeds. So all these are some of the examples. So including these functional foods is further going to enhance the gut health. So taking care of our gut health is very, very important, because it is going to nurture our gut, and it is also going to enhance the functioning of the immune system. Okay, so we think it is the microorganisms which are coming from outside food, but in fact our body itself is like we can say there are a lot of microorganisms which are thriving inside our body. So it is said we are really more bug than man. That means we have to balance that microbiome environment in our body, which is further going to help us maintain good health. So this was all about section 1, that is about role of gut. And why you might be thinking as to whether it is neuro wellness lecture, but why am I talking about gut? Because the brain is directly linked with gut health, and therefore, if we have to maintain good mood, our gut health is equally important. So that was all about the gut health. Now let's move on to one technique. I'm just talking about neuro wellness now. So far it was about diet, food, and gut, but now I'm shifting to one of the important techniques which is going to help us overcome the stress. Like I said, stress is one common factor which is affecting us mostly. So it could be a deadline stress, or it could be a workload stress, or it could be kind of stress which is physical stress, etc., because of overworking or not getting enough sleep. So whenever we are encountering a lot of stress, this technique called EFT is specifically going to help us to overcome the stress. So what is EFT? So anybody is familiar with the EFT in today's session? Anybody knows what is EFT? Among the audience, anybody is familiar as to what is EFT? Audience? Yes, sir, please. So what is your understanding?
A clarified rephrase of pranayama just to relieve our stress.
Yes, sir.
That's
you're right. You're right. Anybody else would like? Yes, sir. You're right. Anyone else who is familiar with what is EFT I'm talking about? So your responses is going to help me. What to say? It's going to help me elaborate better. Okay, fine. So
here, let me take
yes, sir.
my advantage. In fact, people who want time to digest this information, please digest. And again, you can ask the questions or discussion in detail if you think later on 23rd at the end of all the presentations. That's why please keep it in your mind. If you cannot immediately respond, you have a second chance at the end of this session.
Okay, fine. So those of you who are undergoing a lot of stress, here I am giving you a very simple technique called as EFT, that is emotional freeding technique. So this is basically acupuncture therapy, which is a tapping method, I can say. So I'll just show you, demonstrate you as to how we practice this EFT. So wherever there are specific points which are called as meridian points. So by tapping those points, we're actually releasing the stress which is accumulated in our body. So this is a kind of tapping method, okay, which offers a non-invasive method. Like, it is painless method. You need not spend anything, you need not pay anything, or you need not harm yourself, or you need not take any medicine. It's a very simple technique that we can practice in our day-to-day life, and we can practice it every day. I have seen the results, and with a lot of conviction, I am presenting this. And it's like a magical technique that you all can please follow it. So this technique is going to help us relieve stress, basically chronic stress. So this targets emotional processing. So whenever we have a lot of emotional built up, maybe we have some anger built up inside us, or maybe we have some aggression inside us, or sometimes the reason is unknown. We don't know for what reason we are feeling low or we are feeling bad. So in that state, whenever we are feeling very low, we can actually practice this technique. So it basically targets the emotional imbalance. It stimulates the peripheral nervous system. In fact, I can say from sympathetic nervous system, we shift to parasympathetic nervous system. So whatever stress is resulted due to various reasons, so because of the taking over of the parasympathetic nervous system, we calm down, and all the anxiety and built up stress is actually nullified, or we can say we feel better once we try and practice this technique. So this was a technique developed by Gary Craig in the year 1990. Initially, it was used for certain fears, trauma and fears, and post trauma and stress disorders. Okay, so he further simplifies this technique and popularized it as a work of Dr. Roger Chaland's thought field therapy. And this technique was further modified. It initially developed in 1980s, but it was further developed and standardized by Gary Craig. And Gary Craig is the main person who is acknowledged for this technique. So this technique is very, very efficient, or I can say it is very, very helpful to bring down the cortisol levels. Like I said before, whenever we are stressed, or whenever there is gut imbalance, or whenever there is any kind of imbalance in the body, or whenever there is a lot of challenge, or whenever there is an emotional trauma, there is cortisol produced. So when we practice EFT, we are able to reduce the production of cortisol by 24%. And this was a research done by Church et al. In 2012. So this EFT is going to improve systemic inflammation markers, and such as the C-reactive protein, and certain biomarkers are actually decreased. So whenever there is stress, like I said, there is chemical built up in the body. So because of EFT, these inflammatory markers and biomarkers are reduced. It also helps to restore homeostatic balance. So what is homeostatic balance? Like I have told, the balance between oxidants and antioxidants. Whenever there is a balance, there is stress. So this EFT is going to bring back this balance between radicals and antioxidants. So EFT now is used as a very good therapy for anxiety, depression, pain, and biochemical regulation. So from our present audience, is anyone familiar with EFT? Okay, fine. No worries. I will elaborate more on this. So here in the image, we all can see there are certain points which are actually highlighted. So all these points are actually targeting different chakras in our body. Okay, so we have a point on top of the head, and then we have a point on top of the eyebrows, and then we have a point below the eyes, and then a point here, and then here, and then here on the bone, and then we also tap below the underarms. So these are some of the tapping points, and then we also have a tapping point here. So this is the karate chop we say here. So when we actually say these, or when we start tapping these different points, we are supposed to repeat certain affirmative statements. So I will just demonstrate. Okay, so we can see some of the points here. Is the screen visible to everyone? Is the screen visible? Are all the points visible to everyone? Okay, so we can see this is the eyebrow point, and then side of the eye, under eye, and then under nose, chin, and then this is the collarbone point, and then underarm. So whenever we start tapping, each point is supposed to be tapped at least 4 to 5 times, and then we have to repeat one affirmative statement. So whatever feeling we have, like At present, maybe someone is undergoing a lot of body pain, or it could be any kind of emotional pain. Maybe some object is lost, or maybe someone just shouted at someone. So you can just say, even though I have this feeling, whatever feeling you're feeling, sad or whatever, even though I have this dash, the problem, I deeply accept myself and I release this problem and I embrace peace. So by saying this statement, we are actually accepting the situation and then we are bypassing it from leading to stress. I hope it is clear now. Maybe in one more session, I will demonstrate as to how it is done. And I am a everyday practitioner of EFT and also NLP. So NLP, I will come a little later. Okay. So these are some of the research studies which were done, so which are comparable to cognitive behavioral therapy, which is also one of the therapy in psychology. So there was another study. There was another study done for 8 weeks, and significant results were observed in decreasing the biomarkers and radicals, by basically inflammatory markers in our body. And veterans with the post-trauma stress disorder, there was a significant drop in cortisol and psychological symptoms. This was again a study by Church et al. So from these studies, we can say that EFT supports psychological balance, and it's a complemented traditional therapy, traditional medicine. So it is basically suitable for chronic stress and any kind of trauma or any kind of emotional disturbance in us. So it is part of the many of the wellness programs practiced nowadays. Okay. So far, I hope everybody is familiar with EFT. Here, I would like to highlight one specific study which we had done in our university. So my team with a group of students and professors, we implemented this EFT therapy, and we found very good results. In fact, stress, fatigue, body pain, sleeplessness, so these people with these disturbances were considered for the study. And after the study, the results which were observed were very quick, and the pain was, there was a lot of improvement in the decrease of pain, and the repetition of EFT was supposed to be very much needed. So doing just once EFT and then discontinuing is not going to help. It has to be practiced for at least a month. So only when we practice it for a month, we will be able to see some good results. So as the academic field has some kind of stress, so academicians also can practice this and they can reap the benefits. Okay, so this was all about the second therapy, EFT. Now I'm going to shift to the third dimension, that is neuro wellness. Here I'm going to cover NLP, that is neuro-linguistic programming, as a intervention which can be done to overcome the stress. So what is neuro-linguistic programming? So this was the another technique which was developed in the United States, and two contributors, basically Richard Bandler and John Grinder, they are the ones who actually, I can say, they advertised, or they actually made this technique easily applicable to everyone. So how did they come across this technique? Basically, they observed 3 psychotherapists. So these psychotherapists were actually following NLP in their day-to-day life. And Richard Bandler and John Grinder, they observed them, and then they did some study for some time, and then they could see very good results in three of the patients, that is psychotherapists. So Russell Brand is one person who felt that he was really benefited with NLP. He said that because of NLP, he could save his life. And then John Grinder himself says that it is an accelerated learning strategy for detection and utilization of patterns in the world. In fact, it is what we perceive is what going to decide our future. And Richard Bandler says NLP is an attitude of insatiable curiosity about human beings with a methodology that leaves behind it a trail of techniques. So there was also mention about NLP in a training journal, that it affords the opportunity to gain flexibility, creativity, and gives us freedom of action. And Science Digest says that NLP could be the most important synthesis of knowledge about human communication to emerge since the 60s. Okay. Now let's move on to learn as to what is NLP. So NLP is basically, it is going to help us make certain neural connections or change our behavior in such a way that whatever situation is actually causing disturbance is actually it's going to help us. So these benefits which are observed by NLP were profound, and a lot of what I can say, a good result was observed with NLP practicing. Okay, so NLP is basically changing our words and associating certain meanings. That is what is NLP. It's a language processing behavior. Okay, here in NLP, a lot of importance is given to words. It is said that our brain doesn't recognize negative words. Now, if I say, I don't want this, if I say, I don't want this again and again, it so happens that we encounter that. I hope many of them are able to relate with this. So whenever we say, I don't want this, or I don't want to see this, we actually see that we are actually facing that. So the next question, where did actually NLP come from? So like I said, these are the three important persons who actually established the technique of NLP. They are the creators of NLP, basically. Okay. So these are the three psychotherapists who actually understood and who actually practiced first NLP. Dr. Milton, Virginia Steer, and Fritz Perls. They were the ones who practiced it. Okay. So who are the ones who are going to benefit by NLP? Everybody. It's not just academicians. It is not just a normal person. In fact, everybody who tries to understand and practice NLP, everybody is going to be benefited because it is so simple. So what are the problems or not? What are the situations which need NLP practice? So we can use it to build and maintain rapport. We can use it to master communication. We can also use it to achieve clarity. And the benefits are like, it goes on and on. It can be used for any kind of situation. Okay. So we have seen these three important people who have actually practiced NLP, and they have seen. So let's listen this first.
Okay, once you've got that memory, I want you to close your eyes just from one moment at a particular time.
Please try to do it.
Notice what you notice in that picture in your mind's eye. Now, so that picture bigger. That's right. Some color. And even a picture closer to you. That we push it further away. Now notice all how these changes change how you feel about that particular. What about some sound? Picture close again and add some sounds. Maybe sounds in that. If you take all the color out, you just make it like just the difference. That picture, that moment in time. Now let's go for it this time. Take that memory and imagine that you're Spielberg and you're looking at fantastic, big, it's bright, it's loud. But to make that memory even exciting than it's supposed to be, even relaxing. That's what you notice how that's different. Okay, change it back to the way it was before. Notice how good you feel. Good job.
Okay, so I hope you were able to practice it and you could see some results. So basically, there's a stimulus, and then we actually analyze the response, and then we imagine a result, and then we try to associate that result with that particular stimulus. I hope you were able to relate that. Maybe with one practical example, I can try this. Okay, but one thing is that we should always relate it very much positive. So kindly don't use any negative words. Kindly refrain from using any negative comment. It's a request. Kindly don't use any negative comments. Okay. At the end of this session, I will make you all practice one technique. Okay. Now, whenever we imagine a situation, it has to be very much positive, and we should be very clear as to what we want. That is very much important. Now, if we have an aim in our mind and then we try to associate that with some situations, it is very much possible that we can achieve it. So we have to be clear with exactly what we really want. And kindly don't think of what you don't want. because if you think of what you don't want, you are going to manifest that with this technique. Okay, so it is very important, and it is it's a need, I can say. NLP is going to engage our unconscious mind. It is not just the conscious mind, but inherently our unconscious mind is also getting programmed. So our unconscious mind cannot progress negative emotions or negative instructions. So we have to be very mindful of using only positive emotions. Okay, now I'm saying don't think of kangaroos. What I'm saying, don't think of kangaroos. So I think most of you would have thought of kangaroos. That is what I say. Kindly don't use any negative statements because the brain doesn't recognize negative things. Okay, so why is that we are not able to process negative things? So it is a reticular activating system which is constantly listening to our thoughts. So whether it is a positive statement or whether it is a negative statement, it is not going to matter. So even if we think something negative, it is going to be registered by the reticular activating system, and our mind or our unconscious mind is actually working 24/7. Sometimes the thought that we actually think and then go to sleep is what is going to manifest the next day. Okay, so it is very, very important that we keep our thoughts positive, and the outcomes need to be well formed. Whatever we want in our life, that has to be very much pre-decided. So this is one technique which is definitely going to work in every way possible. Okay, now moving on to conclusion. So we all know neuro wellness is one important field which is like booming nowadays, and we have to concentrate on our mental balance, and we can do it by maintaining our gut health. We can also do it by practicing EFT, and we can also do it by like incorporating NLP practicing techniques in our life. Now, before I wind up, I want to highlight one thing, that is a digital detox. So we have to refrain, or we have to cut down the use of digital devices because they emit a lot of radiations and they have a deep impact on our thinking. I would like to mention one instance. A child was very much adamant. It would always say no to food. So the mother made it a practice to give phone, and then the child started watching videos and then started eating food. But after a time of, or after some few years, 3 to 4 years, there was a tumor which was developed in its brain, and the neurologist, when they checked the brain, they actually said that this tumor has come up because of the screen usage. In fact, for every age group, there's a specific screen time, and we need to practice that, or we need to stick on to the screen time usage, and we have to be really mindful as to what we're doing. That's very, very important. So with this, I would like to conclude saying that let's practice all these neuro therapies, or I can say integrated therapies, and let's make the most of it. So the takeaway, so let's concentrate on gut health. Let's practice EFT, and let's try to analyze and use NLP in our day-to-day life, and let's abstain using digital tools, because digital tools can hamper our focus and concentration. And also, it can reduce productivity in our day-to-day life. So with this, I actually express my gratitude to all the distinguished participants in this lecture series, and I thank the Foundation for this wonderful opportunity. So that's all from my side. If there are any questions, please, anybody can ask the questions.
In fact, there's nothing I can say except I am giving from my side a standing ovation for you for your excellent presentation. So it is a really, really a great presentation. I have, at the same time, always fame goes with a lot of criticism, also questions. First of all, before Aruna announced, I just, because I could not come, as I said yesterday, I come to stay as cool as possible, not having question, but I get too excited and carried out. Please send me, possible, this presentation.
Yes.
Every slide you represented. I have a parallel talk. Because I give talks not only on this technical side, I give talks, lectures on Buddhism and Hindu Sanatana Dharma, also at different places. In fact, whatever you said about your first or second slide is a brain, heart, liver, and gut. This is exactly I use in our Vedic society. How the formulated is, they took the society as a human being with which required a brain to think for them, think for the society, heart for maintain the tranquility in the society, and a liver or I wrote it as metabolism, which it's a fluidity. Fluidity, either communication or business or whatever it is. And the gut is nothing but a function, functional attribution. So, and then they named it as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There is no hierarchy or lower this one, because they just say brain, heart, and then it went down under communication, gut, and then this one. That's the reason actually I want to put on each of your slides the sort of Sanatana Dharma concept and how it will flow. It's really, really wonderful. And then you pointed out stress. It is really a great minted coin, because stress is nothing in this brain heart. This sequence is a violation. Stress is nothing but a violation of the proper flow. So that violation is out of abnormal response. Somebody may become bunkums and then he starts talking whatever it is, which is making sense. So these are all the things. I mean, I don't want to talk too long because others also have questions. It is really a great, but just I will expand one thing. You already showed that stress is a different forms, and then you attribute it to the anxiety, stress, anxiety, fatigue, and body function and sleep disorder, whatever it is. I just opened that bracket. You inscribed in a big global set, but I am making subsets. I actually diversify stress in two different, that means redefine stress in two different forms, called a dynamic stress, which everybody in the day-to-day life, I may have job today, I may not have, I'm being fired. So it creates a dynamic stress because it's a day-to-day immediate goals. And that that causes some violation. And also the other three, fatigue, body pain or something, and sleep. I just, by the time you skipped that stress line, it is what I called as a frozen stress. Frozen stress is accumulated over the time period. Oh my God, what can I do? Do I get my daughter married or not? And I mean, still I worry for that one. So this is an accumulated over the time. Why should I think? Why can't I calm myself? But this is inherently a prolonged, and this really causes the failure you showed later on, diabetes, heart attack, all those things. These are all the ones that point out to. That's the reason I just request your presentation. And it is, I mean, I have a lot of questions I wrote. I don't want to press now. Please, I really congratulate the best talk. And please submit two different manuscripts.
Sure.
One dealing with this first stress and the function, and second one is a neural response. In fact, actually, in that one also, you showed the central points of the pranayama, That also
Yes,
I
sir.
have explanation. I don't want to talk, take more time. Let others also talk. It is very, very interesting. Please,
Sure.
audience, please ask her. I mean, she has done a fantastic job. I'm sure she can answer your questions. There is no small question, big question. Sorry, Aruna, I apologize. I just, as I said, I got excited.
No issues, sir. You're always welcome, sir. And we want your suggestions and we want your blessings also, sir. Always you are welcome.
No, but I have to let others to participate because, if I keep going and then time is over, no, others please ask because this one is very, very important. Not whether it is science or what, it is for human survival in the present day fast life. This is required. It's an appropriate talk. And please clarify your questions and ask her too. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It was a very, very useful session.
Okay, sir.
In fact, I felt like that if such programs are given to the younger generations, it will be of great use. So what I could infer from your slides is we should take more fibrous food, alkaline food,
Yes, sir.
probiotic food, and that EFT exercises had tapping,
Tapping.
eyebrows, eye chin, chin,
Yes, sir.
feet, and then underarms.
Yes, sir.
So 3-4 times tapping. So
And you
it
have to repeat the statement, sir.
it relieves. How many times we have to do it? And
Every point, at least 5 times tapping, and then we have to repeat that statement. That affirmative statement, which is like we are accepting the situation and then we are releasing it. That statement, whatever is the discomfort or whatever is the pain or whatever is the trauma or any kind of emotion which is built up inside, you have to repeat the statement. Along with the statement, we have to tap.
we have to give the pressure.
So basically, it is just a tapping, sir. Just a normal tapping.
Okay. It's
So
not
when we
no
tap, we
enablement.
release stress.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
What time we should do? In the morning or evening or any time?
Any time, whenever
Any
you're
time.
comfortable, whenever you
So we
have
can
time.
do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
But
you
we
told
also-
that this karate area.
Karate chop point.
These also tapping, huh?
Sir, this karate chop point is basically is used to release the built up emotions. So whenever we are saying anything that I'm trying to leave, like negative thing, pain is there in my body, I have this in me. So whenever we are taking these negative things, we have to use this karate chop. But whenever I'm using positive statements, I'm strong, I'm very much confident. For the positive statements, this karate chop point need not be done. That's a basic difference.
NLP is don't allow negative elements to come in.
Yes, sir.
And try to enhance the positive. You have shown that whenever there is any fight or verbal discomforts with others, these neurons collapse.
Yes.
And happy moments of just spending time with friends, walking, and all these things, happy moods will keep it alive. Okay.
Correct.
Good presentation, madam. Good presentation. Very good. I feel that such programs should be shown to students and working class. Great use. Because as a project manager, hectic amount of pressure will be there. My wife used to tell 3 or 4 telephones will be there just by side of my bed. So it will be only a half sleep. So even in the night, what time, what phone will come, what communication will come, we do not know. So it is almost a semi-sleeping stage only people do this. During that particular thing, this yogic exercises and this EFT, NLP method, probably it's a natural method, it's a great.
Basically, we are shifting from alpha state to theta state. So which is very, very, very strong state to absorb things. Whatever positive changes you want to see in your life. So we are supposed to practice it just as soon as we wake up and just before we sleep. So these two timings are very, 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 very powerful timings. Anything and everything can be practiced at this time, and it is 100% sure it will manifest. Whatever positive statements you're saying, you will see 200% results. And I am the very much living example of these two practices. I do it every day.
Oh, good. You see, actually, one thing which I acknowledge is whenever there is any stress,
Yes.
whenever there is any unwanted thoughts that come, immediately I feel gastric.
Okay.
So you
That's
told,
again because of gut.
so it impacts on the gut.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, madam.
here,
Thank you. Again, a great class and
Thank you.
useful to me.
Let me expand on this one. Sorry, although I said I don't want to, but I'm forced. This one, we do it in Sandhya Vandanam. And a lot of times we do this one,
Yes.
Angustar, all those things. And
Yes.
finally, even the tapping,
Yes.
nobody has written. We were only mouth to mouth. See, we lost it. Finally, we hit. That hitting is we have to hit on the spot. That's
Yes.
they're all there. But neither any Pandit will tell us. This knowledge has been somehow diluted, and we don't know. All those things we do, we Sagai, Swaha, Sagai, Vashat, all these things we
Yes,
do.
yes, sir. Exactly.
So these are all the steps we are reinventing the actual meaning of that one.
Maybe it is put up in a better name and shape. That's it, sir. It's all our traditional knowledge only. In a fancy name, it is coming up as NLP and EFT, but we are practicing it since our ancestors.
I request anybody else from the participant side who wish to interact with the Rajeshri ma'am, it is welcome.
Dr. Rajeshwari madam, good evening ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Myself, Shiv Ganesh ma'am. Ma'am, I always have this confusion that people use two terms. One is brain and one is mind. And whenever they make a distinction between these two, I generally say that both are same. Think with your mind, think with your brain. I say brain and mind both are same, but they say that brain and mind are not the same. Is it that brain and mind are same or brain and mind are different?
Sir, what is visible is our brain. What is invisible is mind. We can't see mind.
No, ma'am. My question is brain and mind both are same or brain is different and mind is different, ma'am?
Maybe I can say mind is intellect, sir. Our intelligence is what I'm referring to mind. And basically mind is framed because of bundle of thoughts. If we are thoughtless, there is no mind existing. If we start meditating, there is no mind existing there. It's only the brain.
Okay, ma'am.
So I mean to say both are same, but our intention should be to be thoughtless. When we bring down our focus on one particular thing, we have only one thought at that particular time. But when we have too many thoughts, maybe it is the mind playing a role there.
The way I understand, let me explain it. Brain can be stated, or brain can be elaborated as a functional, like house, which contained so many neurons, so many connections for sensitivity or some pain or anything. That the location is brain. It is all in the brain function. Whereas mind is that electrical signal that jumps from one. Let us say I got some bug is biting, so immediately I say, so that informational electrical impulse is what you are talking about. So you can see a brain is a source, a storeroom, and every individual thing is the mind. So it is the action or resultant of the transmission of the electron neuron activity is the mind. It could be positive or negative, how you translate it. See, a bug is biting here, it's stinging. Then why, without knowing, I will just hit it. I don't see there is a bug or not until I touched it. So that means an electrical signal triggered that action. So that is the one that does it is the mind. Whereas brain, it is a place, it is an origin. That's from where the whole thing happened, process. Location and process. So that is how we can think of it. It is not like wind. You can't see, but it is there. So like that one, mind or thought process exists, but the brain is a solid located somewhere.
Okay.
The structural framework. Structural framework is the brain, and the thoughts and the processing could be the mind.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaste.
Yes, please, sir.
Ma'am, is there one question? Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Please tell me.
Ji, ma'am. Actually, saturated fatty acids are not good for health. Is there any use also for health, or just they are bad?
So basically, we have two types of fatty acids. One is saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acids. Now, for the making of the good cholesterol, we have to eat unsaturated fatty acids. Like we all need cholesterol to handle bile. Like for the production of the bile, cholesterol is needed. Cholesterol is part of various vitamin D metabolism, etc. So cholesterol is needed for us. So in cholesterol, we have two types, good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Now we have to restrict our saturated fat intake. So saturated fat intake is basically the solidified fat, could be butter. For example, butter and animal fat, the fat which is from the animal foods. So whenever we eat lot of solidified fats or the saturated fats, there is a lot of built-up of LDL and VLDL. LDL is low density lipoprotein and VLDL is very low density lipoprotein. So saturated fats built up bad cholesterol in our body. That means they produce more of bad cholesterol, or they become bad cholesterol and they get accumulated in the arteries. That is when there is heart disease coming up. So we have to restrict saturated fats or trans fats. So which is shown on the nutrition labeling on any product, sir. When we buy any food, on the nutrition labeling, they will mention saturated fats this much, trans fats this much. So if it is showing more than 1% or 2%, kindly avoid buying that food product. But if it is showing unsaturated fats, it is a good one, which is going to help us like produce HDL, that is high density lipoprotein, which is a good cholesterol, which is needed for brain and functioning of the body.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manideep, sir. Anyone else who wish to speak a few words regarding this presentation, today's presentation?
Aruna, do you have any questions? You have to think about that one too. You have to put questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, till someone comes with the question, I have a small activity to everyone. I just said that I'm going to make you all practice NLP. So are you all ready for that? Okay. Now I want you all to think of one person in your life who is really irritating or you don't like that person. Just think about that person. Just try to imagine the picture of that person. Imagine the picture of a person whom you don't like or you hate. Okay. Now I want you all to think of picture of a joker. Now think of the picture of a joker and think of the picture of that person whom you hate a lot. Now again come back to the joker. Again think of that person whom you hate. Now imagine the joker is actually dancing and imagine that person whom you hate is in the form of a joker. And imagine that person is actually dancing with his
That's
hands
right.
and legs nicely making some actions. And just imagine that the joker's bottom has just dropped. Okay, now again think of that person whom you hate. Now with this activity, I think some of you would have felt like laughing a bit. This is called as pattern interruption. This is one of the practice of NLP. So what I explained today is just an introduction. I haven't gone to the modalities and the different techniques there. But when we did this short exercise, I think we actually we can rate the kind of anger. Maybe initially you had anger of 9 and 10. Now I think you might have had around 5 or 6. Am I right? The anger level came down when you associate that person's face with the joker.
That's right.
So this is the logic behind framing neural connections and bringing down the hateful feelings and emotions. Yes, any more questions, please? Even if it is a silly question, you can please ask. I'm here to answer.
Ma'am, in your presentation, you had told one thing that we can eat frozen foods. Is it apt?
Frozen foods I have never mentioned, madam. Maybe I have mentioned fiber-rich foods.
Yeah. Like at the time only, I heard about these frozen foods also in terms of fibers and like
No, madam.
batter, dosa batter and idli batter.
Dosa. So idli, dosa, all fermented foods. Basically, the batter that we keep overnight, it actually ferments. So when it
Yes.
ferments, it is actually producing many vitamins and minerals through the microorganisms.
Complex, yeah.
That fermented food is a host for prebiotics. So when we eat fermented foods, we stay slim, we are so smart, we look young. So there are so many benefits.
Now doctors are suggesting to not eat like more this type of carbohydrates like that. No, to how far can we overcome this issue in terms of this neural wellness?
Basically, madam, fermented foods, if you see, the Japanese people eat a lot of fermented foods, tofu, and so there are so many fermented foods, and even the out of rice also they make a fermented product. And you see, they never put on weight. They're always so young and slim. So the kind of food that we prepare, kind of fermentation we implement, all this is going to matter. But as such, fermented foods are very good for us. They are simpler in for digestion and they are packed with a lot of nutrients.
If this is the case, we can say this for bakery items also, ma'am, because we are using yeast for fermentation in bakery foods. But those are not
Natural fermentation I'm talking about, madam. Usually baked foods have a lot of saturated fat. So saturated fat leads to heart disease.
Yes.
So I'm not talking, I'm not for this bakery foods. I'm not like that kind of fermentation. I'm against actually.
Yeah.
So adding yeast and fermenting.
To mention.
So at home level, when we make our own bread at home, still it's okay. Or when we make idli, dosa, it's like we are actually introducing a natural microbe there. So
Yes.
yeast, of course, with added lot of fat, it becomes, maybe it is good, but it turns out to be a processed food, which is not
Yes.
good for us.
It's just a doubt itself, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay, madam. Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Anybody else who wish to interact more with ma'am? As almost we are coming to conclusion of this session, today's session.
Dr. Arna ma'am and Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am, I just want to express that is something that I have felt in my life, ma'am.
Yes, sir, please.
Ma'am, during projects, there is a site, ma'am, that is the site name is called as PABR, Penna Obala Balancing Reservoir. The village doesn't contain name. The village itself is in the name of the dam, Penna Obala Balancing Reservoir Dam. And mostly in those Anantapur district areas, they used to have this Satyasai water tanks, ma'am. That is cement, just like cement silos, they used to provide tanks. And the water from the tank, it is highly contaminated water, ma'am. So they said there is no other source of water, you have to drink it. So I have taken around few ounces of water to quench my thirst, man. Then that night, my body, it was not getting adjusted to the thing. And my friend, he belongs to that area. He immediately told, hey, you have came from a different place and you have done a wrong thing. You just say that Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai will save you and drink water. You may drink even 1 liter of water. I had a lot of this because I was not, I was dehydrated for a very long time. And just because non-availability of water, to quench my thirst, I had just few ounces gulping myself, ma'am. And I had hope. I had hope in that person who has said that this will help you, nothing will happen to you. So I drank 1 liter of water. Then after that, for completion of project, I have to stay there for around 6 months, ma'am. 6 months, I just drank that water that has been supplied by water trust, ma'am. But nothing has happened. But I just said, how just thinking the name, or how just chanting the name of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai, that one person may not be poisoned by drinking contaminated water. But it really worked, ma'am. This is one of, since you, that is, you belong to that Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Trust, ma'am. I just thought of sharing the experience that I had, ma'am. For 6 months I was there, and for 6 months I was drinking that water. Nothing happened, ma'am. In fact, I was really healthy at that time. Now drinking the purified water, my body has become weak. Okay. I thought of sharing my experience, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for bringing this incident into light. Satya Sai Baba used to tell, now he used to give example of God in person and then God's name. So in these two scenarios, which is more powerful? And Satya Sai Baba used to tell, in this Kali Yuga, God's name is more powerful than God himself. That means if you just think of God's name, that itself is like a sadhana that can give you a power of a great saint. So God's name is very powerful, sir. We may underestimate the value, but it is very, very powerful, beyond imagination.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, you are exactly right. I also always believe that there is certainly a supernatural power, irrespective of whether it is Hinduism or Muslim or Christianity, whatever it may be, God's different names are having, but that is the ultimate supernatural power is acting. That always I believe, irrespective of all these what we call caste and different names of gods like that. But definitely we must believe that we are working under that supernatural power itself. So that is
Exactly,
my
madam.
opinion. Yes.
100% right, madam. In fact, there is a recent study going on by a neurologist by name Dr. Shweta Aditya. You can, in fact, all of us can check her profile in YouTube. She has actually discovered, and she has published her work in reputed journals also, the changes in the brain observed after chanting Lalita Sahasranama. So, listening to Lalita Sahasranama and Vishnu Sahasranama, she has actually recorded the result outputs in the brain and she has published it. So, there were many positive changes observed in the brain development. Whatever malformities or whatever problems were seen in thinking and behavior outcomes, there were a lot of improvements in the brain functioning because of just hearing of Lalita Sahasranama. So God's names are very, very powerful because they have a lot of high vibrations which actually lift up our mood and life.
And I request you, ma'am, if possible, exclusively one session as a workshop. If you wish to,
Sure,
if you can organize, it will be more useful for all the participants, and we can try for more students at their free time. If we
definitely, ma'am.
Try to organize one exclusive session, because one more person is there, Dr. Kirti Mishra she's from Maharashtra. So she is on also Agnihotra. She is also having about to have one session, ma'am. We are planning exclusively as a workshop on Agnihotra. So how Agnihotra can improve our mental and physical health. So we are planning that. In continuation with that, I request you also please plan for a workshop, ma'am. Just like you had
Sure,
told how to do these exercises like that. So some more set of
sure.
that mindfulness exercises, if you could able to give us as a workshop, it will be more beneficial. Yes.
Sure, madam. It's a pleasure, madam. Sure, definitely. Thank you, madam.
Surya Narayana, will you be kind enough to give a concluding remark for this session after I say something, because I'm always a poker, as we keep on poking. In fact, this discussion started with brain and mind. This is a typical example. Mind you can't see, brain you can see. So the miracle you may feel, but what is behind you can't explain. If I say, oh, it is because of God, if you say that, then I might say, oh, this guy is a crazy man. I don't believe it. So there are certain things that cannot be proved. But as I said to the gentleman who goes from Sanatana to Sanutana, the reverse is true. I am coming to that conclusion. I start believing it. From Sanutana to we go back to Sanatana. That means from modernity, we go back into our roots, thinking there is something else that we cannot explain or we cannot narrate, we cannot see, that is controlling us. Probably you may call that as God or some mysterious force. I don't know. In fact, that is my observation. In many, this reiterated this a few minutes of conversation, discussion amongst the audience. And second thing to me, reinforced that at least I have maintain my ability or really recognizing the talent of a person. I had, after I heard their talk in a conference with a student's paper, as a paper, 10 minutes or 10 minutes paper or something, I identified and strongly endorsed Aruna to request Rajeshwari to give a full 1 hour lecture. And each second is really, she demonstrated to me, at least to me, I don't know about others, every second is worth my recommendation. So you are really, really great. And I wish you will have good success in your times ahead and receive other rewards and recognitions. With that one, I will pass on to Surya Narayana. If he is ready, he can say a few words, and then we can conclude with Janagana Mana as usual. Is that okay? Without asking you, I said, is that okay with you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Certainly.
No, I'm talking to Surya Narayana. Is okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks. Bye. Go ahead.
Madam, actually, I expected this sort of outcome from your class because my brother, Dr. Rao, have told me that earlier he had listened to your lecture, he was highly impressed on it, and he wanted it, the program also to be this one part of this conference. Really, it is a great eye-opener for us. We take a lot of coffee, tea, biscuits, all processed foods, and knowing or unknowing. It has become a part of our life. Every day, every minute of the 24 hours is a challenge to live. Our mind is actually working at 200% loading. There must be some mechanism that must be available to us to bring down the loading on brain and loading on the mouth. He explained the gut importance very, 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 very clearly. What to take, what not to take. So not to take means 100% we cannot avoid. We should control. Our mind should tell that okay, this is going to create problem in gut, and gut will create problems in the whole body.
Yes.
Similarly, some techniques are similar to this pranayama.
Yes, sir.
As Dr. Rao was telling, in Sandhyavandanam,
Yes.
we tap all these things. In mantras,
Yes, yes, sir.
but this Vedic science has some relations, but it has not come out. These sort of techniques should be practiced, and such subjects should become a part of academic curriculum, apart from this P&T activities for the student level itself. That will be of great use. Indians are very famous all over the world because of our thinking capacity, because we are God-fearing persons. Our parents are alive or not, we feel that we are responsible for their words. So if I do this, then I'm answerable to my mother, I'm answerable to my grandfather. So this sort of practices embedded in us is something I am related to the NLP. Don't allow negative things in this, please. And you told in a very, very jovially fantastic word. Anybody whom you don't like, you feel that he is a joker, just ignore him.
So we'll never have that hatred.
Ignoring creates a sort of relief. So we don't allow such thoughts to come in.
Okay.
and we allow only good things to come in. Nowadays, even small kids, they're not taking food, and mothers are not having patience to feed. They give mobile, something, some video game will be there, then feeding will be there. It become a practice all everywhere, including my grandchildren. Whether we can come out of it so naturally or not, I do not. So mentally, we should be prepared for things. So they are becoming addicted for these gadgets.
Yes.
You are told, that it is creating impact on the brain. Night
Yes.
sleeping also they are seeing, and then sleep, and then only we don't have patience to. So grandmothers and all, they used to tell stories, good stories, such that their thoughts will go in positive direction. But now everything is gadgeted. I do not know where we are traveling in. But anyhow, such subjects, such thoughts, such natural curing methodologies should evolve as a great subjects, even with the grassroots levels. I expect you, madam, please visit schools and tell the principals that I would like to address the children such that they will know at early age itself what is the impact that it will create in the brain. Great lecture, madam. Practically, it is very, very useful and a great contribution to me. Thank you, madam.
All those who are here, this time we selected such a way it represents a different faculty in a workshop, 7-day workshop. It's wonderful. So that a mechanical engineer or thermal plant manager is having a flavor. I mean, you don't become pundit in one day. A flavor of on the other side. So it's an eye opener, I'm sure, for him on this both dietary and nutritional and also a brain function, how it works and all. I gave a flavor in chemistry and what it is, a vision between through the eye of an engineer and as a scientist, how one can interpret some data. And as a general manager and a chief, almost corporate member, how he sees with his dynamic vision, how a corporate can run. And today, this one, yesterday about the educational society, education, and also transformation, and in the using artificial intelligence. And tomorrow is another new flavor of the transplants by a medical doctor who is a chief surgeon, is a professor in England. So he'll be talking from England. Please attend. There is one, I think I remember because I forget, on 22nd is coral reef or something, environmental preservation. And the last one, I really don't know. So please attend and also enjoy yourself, provide your feedback, and particularly Rajeshwari, please submit at least 2 manuscripts because 2 different subjects. And I am sure Sidney will be happy after formal review process to publish it. There is no way they can reject it because these are really, really important. Yes, same to Dr. Sino, Surya Narayana, if you can please submit a manuscript can be about people can have an understanding of it. And I excuse myself this time because I am really not in a position of sitting at the computer because I don't know when it triggers my imbalance. So I have already submitted few manuscripts. I don't want my name all the time. So this is my 2 cents worth of a message. And Aruna, if you say 1 minute, then afterwards we can do national anthem. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir, for your all innumerable and valuable suggestions and comments. Both the stalwarts of just like as a godfathers, because you are all elders than us. Srinivas Rao sir and Suryanarayana sir, both of you had eliminate whatever enlightened this gathering, sir. No words to express from my end. And actually, Siddhi started from very zero state to till now. And by God's grace, whatever I told just now to Rajeshri Madam as a supernatural power, my supernatural power is Lord Siddhi. And I don't know why I had coined that name Siddhi. I myself coined that name Siddhi. And I mean that Siddhi Vinayaka. So Siddhi Foundation is getting more and more expertise all around us in all over India and abroad also. We are getting many more stalwarts like you, sir. They are coming voluntarily. I'm saying that I'm not at all paying anything, sir, actually. And we are having no funds also. But even though the Siddhi Foundation is flourishing day by day, I think a small contribution from my side also I am making towards the society, which is useful for all the academicians and researchers to have some knowledgeful insights and knowledgeful idea sharing and getting their knowledge enhanced, and also to have some extracurricular and co-curricular activity like certificates to which can add API score, which is useful for their CAS and like career advancement and academic performance index. So thanks a lot, all of you, and my Almighty God, who is giving a back force to me to do such a wonderful things. Thanks a lot. And I wish the same should continue as long as the Siddhi Foundation is doing all these things. Thanks a lot, one and all. And I wish the remaining 3 sessions also please attend and please make it as a grand success. Thanks. Thank you so much. And now I wish to make this conclusion with national anthem. I request all of you to please stand in front of your devices to join your tones to sing national anthem. I'm sorry. Jana Gana Mana
Ganga Uchala Jaladhutaranga Tava Sarva Jaya Gatha Jana Gane आवाज चल गई
जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय. Thanks a lot for all your patience till this conclusion. And officially, I'm saying this today's meeting has been ended. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.